away, you pestering phantom. You're here. Blast these frayed fates. Let's get in there and turn theory into practice, eh? Smooth these things back into the universe. First, we enter the drift and find the darn thing. The Fate Weaver key in your able hands will lead us where we need to go. Now, properly attuned, it should allow you to tug on the threads that bind my fate to me. We use the Fate Weaver key itself to bind this frayed fate back into the fabric of the universe. I'm not... well, to be totally honest, I'm not exactly sure what that will look like. But we're armed with the dead friend's knowledge. We'll see it done. Into the drift! Huzzah!
I need help. I was swept overboard in a storm and found myself washed up in this terrifying land. What happened? I must find my ship. I must find Nanarel, my father. Are you real or just another spirit? I am Landervel, first mate on the opulent Gale. My father, Nanarel, is the ship's captain. We were trapped in a horrible storm. I fell into the churning sea. I was dragged under the waves, blacked out, and awoke nearby in a ship's graveyard. I need to find my father and my ship. When I last saw him, he was at the wheel, clutching his treasured belongings, a locket, a spyglass, and the ship's logbook. Our ship must have run aground. We need to find him. Thank you. I fled from ghosts in Daedra when I came ashore and heard one of them call it Fathom's Drift. I will not leave this place before I track down my father and our ship. Surely he survived the storm. My father has captained the opulent Gale since I was a boy. He built the ship with his own 2 hands. I may never be the captain he'd hoped I'd be, but I'll never forget how alive I felt knowing he was at the wheel. This place? I don't know where we are. There was a storm and a great wave and my father shouting. Yes, he was shouting at the storm. Hermaeus Mora. High elves don't deal with Daedra, but he's known among the sailors as Hermes Mora, the Tide King. He carries many names, but he lives deep beneath the waves. Could my father have angered him somehow?
I hope we find more of them.
The Fate Weaver key will be our guide. It should make visible the threads that bind me to the nearby frayed fate.
You
Far ahead,
betcha.
through these seas. Look for my father's belongings. If we find them, we'll likely find him as well.
There. A thread. Untie it, and we'll follow the thread to the next. And the next. Ah!
They're coming for us.
Martina's work. My research. It's working! Smashing! That thread was woven past that door! Up the ramp! I think I see something!
I guess this is a fight metal.
Look there! This distortion is a frayed fate. Let's pull this situation into focus.
Off the deck, Ascender. Stop lollygagging, Ascender. I'm tired of all this.
What? A sailor? How odd. I haven't wanted to be a sailor since I was a child.
Bilge rats and stale bread. I'll never make it to first mate.
Such potential. Stronger now. Twitching tentacles, what is that? I grow stronger. Use the key. These room forms should banish that thing. We will not be undone. It worked. I wasn't sure it would. What we just witnessed. Distressing, horrid, disconcerting. Apologies, cohort. I'm free associating to deal with my emotions. Of course, yeah, just processing. Tim, it seems, was telling the truth. Afraid Fate has grown in strength somehow. Become adversarial. Allow me to take back the Fate Weaver key. I'll need to consider this new information. The introduction of this adversary into the experiment was unforeseen. Let's reconvene in my room at Cypher's Midden.
locket. He wore it on every voyage for good luck. He would never leave it behind. But it is marked with the symbol of Hermes Mora. Never noticed that before. I recognize this. Father's spyglass. But its lens is cracked and useless.
We can do this!
Keep your eyes peeled, my friend. Keep your eyes peeled, my friend. Finding my father's belongings. That's my father's handwriting. And someone else's as well. What does it mean?
But now I'm going to. I think I'm getting good at this. Well, I probably shouldn't be proud of that. Should I?
There! The opulent Gale! Is my father there?
Well, my boy! You're alive! You brought my son here. I thought I lost him. For that, you have my thanks. I'm Nanarel, captain of the opulent Gale. My son's been restored to me. We must complete the pact before this gift is taken back. I watched my son swept overboard. He would drown in the storm. I appealed to a greater power, but didn't complete the ritual. We must finish the task, lest he perish again. You must sacrifice 3 tokens from my past. Logbook, spyglass, and locket at the unquenchable brazier near the entrance to the sea caves to seal the pact. Do this for us. This must be a shock to my son, but we must see this task through. Seek the unquenchable brazier that marks the entrance to this place. The unquenchable brazier is a kind of beacon for the blighted souls that are damned at sea. Hermas Mora calls to them. It's as you say. For our purposes, it's a direct connection to Hermas Mora himself. There we'll offer the sacrifices of my past, so that I may guarantee...
I am alive. I should be dead. I need time to think all this over. Let's do as he says and go back to the brazier where you found me. regret. My father traded his life for mine.
Let me tell you all, my friend. Then you can
It'll
cast
be good
the
to get
items
away from the
into
family a
flame
bit.
and complete my pact. I will tell you everything. Of my relationship to the Daedric Prince, and what I did to save my son. The pact was with Hermes Mora, who sleeps with his secrets in the depths. I had learned an incantation to entreat with him from an ancient sailor, and inscribed the summoning into my logbook. When I saw my child swept away in the storm, I knew he would perish, and I invoked the pact. Hermes Mora heard my prayers and answered, at a cost. My son was saved, but I am fated to serve as Hermes Mora's guide in this land of lost souls. You must burn the relics of my past, so I exist only in memory. Sacrifice the spyglass, logbook, and locket in the brazier. These items represent my past. Place them in the sacred flame to finalize my pact, and seal my fate. Should Hermes Mora rescind his offer, Landolvel will perish. The book invokes the pact I made. I transcribed the spell into it. When I spoke the words aloud, Hermes Mora's writing appeared beneath it, agreeing to the deal. Burning the book and the other items finalizes my agreement. Unless it is fed to the brazier, there is still a chance Hermes Mora would return my son to the depths and let him drown. With this glass, I beheld Hermes Mora rising from the sea in response to my evocation. It nearly shattered my mind, so horrid was his visage. Ah, that is a treasured totem of my past life, of my lovely wife and devoted son. It is marked by the hand of Hermes Mora when he agreed to spare my son's life. The book invokes the pact I made. I transcribed the spell into it. When I spoke the words aloud, Hermes Mora's writing appeared beneath it, agreeing to the deal. Burning the book and the other items finalizes my agreement. Unless it is fed to the brazier, there is still a chance Hermes Mora would return my son to the depths and let him drown. You've heard what I have to say. Now place the sacrifices into the flame.
The logbook. Why didn't it burn? I don't understand. How is this possible? Hermes Mora has changed the bargain. It now reads, "Let Nanarel, or the memory of him, become my guide for the drowned dead." The words, "or the memory of him," are new. What does this mean? You mean to suggest Hermes Mora wants me to forget my own father? Forget our time together? Surely I would never... No, I will do it. If it means my father will return to the mortal plane, I will do whatever it takes. Hermes Mora will trade my memories for my father's life. I would forget him, but he would live. Yes. Give me the book.
I would rather perish than let my son forget me. Let me seal the land. I'm unsure how you came to help my son, but I'm indebted to you, stranger. Give me the book, so I may finish this. I made my choice the moment my son was swept overboard. Hermes Mora honored his side of the deal. I will honor mine. And I should have a son forget his father? I would rather perish, literally. Let me honor the original promise I made. My son is stubborn, but he offers too much. Give me the logbook. My son is disappointed, but you respected my wishes, and for that, I am in your debt. Let me offer some small reward for your aid. And know that, should you find yourself in these lands again, my spirit will always be with you. Hear me, Hermes Mora, my liege. Seal our pact for eternity. We rebuke your other offer.
My father. Gone. I have no words. I am grateful for your assistance, traveler. Please, leave me with my grief.
mortal. Hello? Over here.
Makes me thirsty. Ah, there you are! Come, let's talk. I'm ecstatic.
Incredible. Somehow, my experiment seems to have created a new, previously unseen mystic phenomenon. One frayed fate consumed the other by means and for reasons unknown. I'd be even happier if it didn't want me dead. Ha! Yes. I mean, would I prefer this adversary enjoy a strenuous argument over a pot of tea? Without a doubt. But you have to understand, I believe the Fate Weaver experiment was an abject failure. Indubitably. And mark me well, this discovery would not have been possible without your insights and abettance. We make a superlative research duo, you and I. I haven't had a competent cohort in some time. I must. My fate is still frayed after all. It must be restored and this dark being dealt with. But now, a question for you. Would you be willing, if you have the time and inclination, to continue our collaboration? Together, my new cohort, we began the work of understanding the nature of fate. We put an old friend to rest. And someday soon, we'll repair the key. But for now, accept my promised coin with enthusiastic thanks. Onward and upward! Together, cohort, we will accomplish stupendous things, remarkable things, for research!
the sun, and she liked the green, and she danced merrily beside the road.
Over here, I could use your help.
I see we have quite... I cannot decide if I prefer
afraid of walking anyway.
Get back here, you stupid thing!
Watch yourself, stranger. I hope you don't mind me saying so, but you look like someone who's good at cleaning up messes. I've got a big one for you, if you're up for it. I'd pay you for your time, but I need someone quick on their feet. This mess is turning into a crisis. I was experimenting with a spell while my mentor, Magister Iran, was away, but the magic went awry. If it doesn't get dealt with, it's going to spread beyond this area and harm a bunch of innocent people. I can't fix it on my own, so I need help. I need to develop a counterspell, but first the protective wards around the area need to be restored by someone other than myself, so I don't taint the magic. That's where you come in. Like I said, if you help, I can pay. Hold still. You'll need this unless you want to spend the next few hours as a sheep. Not as glamorous as it sounds. And here, take these crystals. You'll need them to restore the wards. The first one is in the meadow just up the hill to the north. Mostly they serve to keep errant magic inside Tordriak's boundaries. You know, the standard 3 points of protection thing. Unfortunately, my spell kicked those wards in the teeth. They're not protecting anything now. All you have to do is place those crystals I gave you on the 3 protective wards. It'll be easy, I promise. Mostly trying to keep anything with ill intent away from you. My errant spell seems to be affecting the creatures around Tordriak in all kinds of ways. Things that were once docile might be a little, grumpy right now. The name's Ember. Well, technically it's a nickname, but it's all I use. I'm Magister Erin's apprentice. I think he regrets taking me on sometimes, but he's got a big heart. He saw that I had no formal training and told me to come here to learn. This is Tordreak. There's a big wizard's tower. You can't miss it. I've been living there with Magister Erin, plus a few people who keep up the grounds and the tower itself. All of whom have been affected by my spell, I'd guess. The spell I created has my magical mark on it, if that makes sense. There are certain types of magic that can be affected by their creator, intentionally or not. Exactly. Magic is powerful and great and all that, but it can be pretty sensitive. Fussy, Magister Erin like. The name's Ember. Well, technically it's a nickname, but... Here we are. I'm going to cast a little purifying spell while you place the crystal so nothing...
Never have enough of that.
Let's do this quick. That's one ward restored. Let's fix the next one. It's in the glade just west of... I really should have paid more attention to Magister Erin when he was explaining how these protective wards work. I should have paid more attention to him in general, actually. The next one is in the glade. It's just across the way to the west. Unfortunately, no. The wards are just to keep the unstable magic inside the bounds of Tordrea. That way, I can work on a counterspell without worrying about the original spell spreading. Magister Erin made sure I knew what they were and what purpose they served as soon as he took me on as an apprentice. He wanted me to be familiar with as much of Tordrea as possible, or at least the parts that keep it safe. Here we are. Oh, you're a natural. Maybe you should have been Magister Erin's apprentice. The last ward is south of here, inside a cave.
Thanks for asking.
This is the last one. Let's get this over. That's all the wards. Let's talk outside. I need to figure out what to do next. I know my rogue spell is to blame for most of the weirdness happening around Tordreok, but it almost seems like these damned moats are becoming dangerous. They're doing more than just mischievous magic. Ah, fish biscuits. I need to figure this out. I'm not sure. The moats aren't new. They're always hanging around Tordreok. I think they're drawn to places like this. But there was nothing in my spell that should have made them act malevolent. And there are a lot more around than usual. Yes, I can make traps to contain them, but I'm still worried about their behavior. While I work on the traps, could you head into the tower and look to Magister Erin's things? He might have a book with more information about the modes. See if you can find anything in the tower about the moats. I'll meet you there and start on the traps.
This is ridiculous. I knew Magister Erin should never have taken in a mangy cat like you.
Relax, Huldressa. I'm working on it.
You better work fast, because when Magister Erin...
All right. That was a little funny. You in here? Did you find it? I finished the traps. Once we set them up, they should take care of the moats. Then I can sort out the livestock in Huldressa, and at some point create a counterspell to fix everything for good. Did you learn anything useful? Oh, I read that one, with the Wind Sorrow lady, right? Oh, what if my spell disturbed her and that's why the moats are acting up? That's troubling, and also a problem for future Ember. Let's focus on one thing at a time. Or two things, actually. The traps are finished, but the livestock and Huldressa are still a problem. I want to figure out a way to return them all to their natural forms before the illusion does any damage. Could you set the traps while I do that? Here, I'll mark some places to set the traps. They're in a pack by the work tables outside. While you do that, I'll figure out how to fix the livestock and Huldressa. Then I can work on my counterspell. Meet me by the livestock pens when you're done. Good luck setting up the traps. I'll meet you by the livestock pens when you're finished. All right, let's get you two back to your regular chicken selves. Ha! I knew it would work. Run along, ladies. You're back! The traps worked, didn't they? See? I told you I know what I'm doing. Mostly. Speaking of which, I think I figured out a way to return the livestock to their original forms. I made something. I know it looks like a spoon, but, well, technically it is a spoon, but I enchanted it. And I call it the Spoon of Undo. I just tested it on those chickens. It removes the illusions perfectly. Normally I wouldn't bother, but illusions can be disorienting and cause terrible headaches. I don't want any of the animals suffering while I come up with my counterspell. Oh, and Huldressa. I suppose I don't really want her suffering either. Here. Take the Spoon of Undo. If you could run around and fix the livestock and Huldressa, that will give me a chance to finally whip up this counterspell. By the time you're finished, I'm sure I'll have something figured out. Just look around for people making animal noises. I'm sure they won't be hard to find. And tell them I'm sorry when you change them back, would you? As for Huldressa, I'm all in favor of leaving her as a guar. Just kidding. Kind of. It sounds cute when you say it. It's a pretty simple reversing enchantment. It should counteract the magic from the moats and dispel the illusion. Basic stuff, not even I can mess up. I wasn't trying to turn animals into people, I swear. I had a theory about animating the inanimate. One of Magister Irin's texts gave me the idea. That's probably why he locks so many of his books away, now that I think about it. Well, I'm hoping to avoid that scenario. But if it does happen, I'm not sure. He's an odd one. I'm too old for him to punish, and he's not really the type to dole out discipline anyway. I think, well, they're still animals. They might run around a bit, but I doubt they'll make it too difficult for you. They're not exactly geniuses. Personally, if I was a sheep and got turned into a human, I think I'd go off on an adventure. I'll be in the tower working on the counterspell. Come find me when you're done.
I hope you're watching. Nothing wrong with a little opportunistic harvesting.